You know, I came into this restaurant 3 years ago, and I had very little background in any local sustainable sourcing. But the one thing that Woodberry has done for me, and I like to think for most of the people that work here and dine here, is it gives them a little bit of ownership over the city that we live in. Everything that leaves the restaurant holds value, like everything coming into the restaurant, and the value that it holds may not be monetary, but it is a nutrient value. It may be a pH value, whether it raises or lowers the pH in the soil. It may be, like the oyster shells, as a mollusk, they provide a shell for another oyster to attach to. So everything, from an empty oyster shell to, a potato peel, holds value in some sense. In a restaurant, you have, any number of points in the circle from growing the product, transporting the product, serving the product, disposing of it, and then having it picked up, and then where do you close the gap between the product leaving the restaurant and the product entering the restaurant? And the composting is so valuable because it completes that circle. But the composting is just one side of it. We do with our oyster shells, we have the oyster recovery project, and they come and pick up our shells, which they wash, clean, spat, and then redistribute in the bay, which is great for us because the more oysters in the bay, the more oysters we can serve. The grease that we have all goes into a container outside of the restaurant, which gets picked up by a guy, his name's Matt, and he owns the Great Wacomico Oyster Company. He turns all of our grease into biodiesel, which he runs his entire operation off of in the bay, which is amazing because he drives up here in an F-250 that he converted to biodiesel that produces less harmful toxins into the atmosphere than somebody's Prius, which is awesome.